Ordering and comparing integers. Here is our number line. Here, numbers get greater when we move to the right. Here, 0, then 1, which is greater than 0, 2 greater than 0 and 1, 3 greater than 2 and 1 and 0, and so on. So numbers get greater when we move to the right. And numbers get smaller when we move to the left. Yes, so negative 1 is smaller than 0, negative 2 smaller than negative 1 and 0, negative 3 smaller than negative 2, negative 1 and 0, and so on. So again, numbers get greater when you move to the right, numbers get smaller when you move to the left. Example: 1 bigger than 0 and negative 1 is smaller than 0. 1 smaller than 100. Negative 1 is bigger than negative 100. Page 7. Ordering and comparing integers. Rules: negative numbers are crazy, and 0 lies between the negative and the positive. Positive numbers are smart. 0 bigger than any negative number and smaller than any positive number. And actually the number line will help us very well to solve these questions. Number 1, arrange the following numbers in an ascending order. Ascending means from small to big. So we are going to start with negative. Here we have 4, negative 9, 0, 2, and negative 5. We need to start with negative. Which negative? We have negative 9 and negative 5. Which is the smaller here? We said that negative numbers are crazy, which means if we want to compare between negative 9 and negative 5, which one is the smaller? Negative 9 will be the smaller. Then negative 5. After negative 9 and negative 5, we have 0. I'm going to put it in its order. Then what's next? The next will be 2, then 4. So my order: negative 9, negative 5, 0, 2, 4. Letter B. 1, negative 8, negative 1, 2, 15. Ascending, I'm going to start with negative. Here we have two negative numbers, negative 8, negative 1. The negative numbers are crazy, so the smallest here will be negative 8. Then we are going to take negative 1. Then 1, 2, 15, because positive are smart. Letter C. 50, negative 19, 0, negative 12. Start with negative because we are arranging in an ascending order. We have two negative numbers, negative 19, negative 12. The negative numbers are crazy, which means the smaller here is negative 19. Then we are going to take negative 12, then 0 and 50. Letter D. Absolute value of negative 4. Absolute value of negative 17, negative 4, and negative 17. First, we need to solve these absolute values before we start ordering. Absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Absolute value of negative 17 is 17. Now, here we have two positive numbers, two negative numbers. We are going to start with negative, which are crazy. Crazy means negative 4, negative 17. Which one is the smaller? The negative 17 will be the smaller. So negative 17, then negative 4. Then I'm going to take 4, which is absolute value of negative 4. And I'm going to take the last one, 17, which is absolute value of negative 17. So my answer will be like this. Negative 17, negative 4, absolute value of negative 4, absolute value of negative 17. Letter E. 60, negative 60, absolute value of 6, and here we have 16. We need to solve this first. Absolute value of negative 6 is 6. Now let's order. Here we have negative 60. I'm going to start with the negative. So negative 60, then I will take what? 6. What is the 6? The 6 is absolute value of negative 6. I'm going to take it in its original form. So I have negative 60, then absolute value of negative 6, then 16, and the last one will be 60. Here is it. Here we have page 7, number 2. Arrange the following numbers in a descending order. Descending means from big to small, so we need to start with positive. Letter A, 14, negative 90, 0, and 12. Start with the bigger positive, which is 14, then 12, then 0, then negative 90. Letter B, absolute value of negative 82, absolute value of negative 28, negative 28, negative 82. We need to solve these first. Absolute value of negative 82 is 82. Absolute value of negative 28 is 28. Now we can arrange from big to small. Here, where is the biggest value? Is 82. Its original form is absolute value of negative 82. Then we are going to take the other positive number, which is 28. Its original form is absolute value of negative 28. Then we are going to take the two positive numbers, negative 28, negative 82. The negatives are crazy. Which is the biggest? Negative 28. So my answer will be absolute value of negative 82, absolute value of negative 28, negative 28, and negative 82. Letter C, we have 44, negative 79, 0, and 22. Letter C is in page 8. Here we need to arrange from big to small. Here the biggest number here is 44, then 22, then 0, then negative 79. Letter D, absolute value of negative 22, negative 9, 13, 2. So we must find the answer of this first. Absolute value of negative 22 is 22. So we are going to choose what first? Absolute value of negative 22 will be first, then 13, then 2, then negative 9. Letter E, negative 9, 0, absolute value of negative 33, and here we have negative 5. So from big to small, I need to find the value of this first. Absolute value of negative 33 equal 33. So it will be my first number. Absolute value of negative 33. Then 0. Then we are going to take negative 5 and negative 9 will be the last. Page 8, number 3. Put bigger than, smaller than, or equal. Letter A, we have 8, and the other side, negative 8. Of course, 8 is bigger than negative 8. Letter B, absolute value of negative 34. The other side, I have 30. So I must solve this first, which means 34. So, absolute value of negative 34 is bigger than 30. C, absolute value of negative 3, and the other side I have the absolute value of 3. If I solve this, the answer will be 3, and the absolute value of 3 equals 3. So the suitable sign here is equal. Letter D, absolute value of negative 3 plus absolute value of negative 2. On the other side I have 5. So absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Plus absolute value of negative 2 is 2. 3 plus 2 equals what? 5. So the sign here will be equal. Letter E, absolute value of negative 6. The other side I have 8. What's the absolute value of negative 6? 6. Here we have 6 and 8. So 6 is smaller than 8. Letter F, 19, negative 9. Directly 19 will be bigger than negative 9. Number 4, write the previous integer and the next integer for each of the following integers. Previous means the number which are in the left, and the next means the number which is on the right. Here I have 84. Previous, we have 83. The next will be 85. Letter B, we have 24. The previous is 23. The next 25. 0. Previous negative 1. Next is 1. Here I have absolute value of negative 9, which means 9. Previous I have 8. The next will be 10. Letter E, negative 16. Previous will be negative 17. The next will be negative 15. Letter F, here we have negative 8. Previous will be negative 9. Next will be negative 7. Letter G, here we have the absolute value of 0, which is equal 0. The previous will be negative 1 and the next will be 1. Letter H, absolute value of negative 39, which means here I have 39. The previous 38 and the next is 40. Page 9. Number 5. Write the integers between the two integers of the following. Negative 3 and 4. Here we have our number line. Here is negative 3 and here we have 4. What are the integers between negative 3 and 4? We have negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Letter B, we have negative 1 and 6. Here is negative 1, here we have 6. What are the integers between negative 1 and 6? We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Letter C, negative 2 and 2. What do we have between negative 2 and 2? Negative 1, 0, 1. D, negative 5 and 0. Here is negative 5, here is 0. What are the integers between negative 5 and 0? We have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Letter E, negative 6 and negative 1. Here is negative 6, here we have negative 1. What are the integers between them? We have negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. Number 6. Complete in the same pattern. Negative 10, negative 9, negative 8. So here will be negative 7, and here negative 6, and here negative 5. Letter B, negative 4, negative 2, 0. Here we have 2, 4, 6. Letter C. Letter C, negative 80, negative 70, negative 60. So here we have negative 50, negative 40, negative 30. Page 9, number 7. Write using listing method. Letter A, x equal x such that x belongs to z and this x is less than negative 3. So here's my number line. X less than negative 3. Here is negative 3. What are the integers which are less than negative 3? We have negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and so on. So to write it in the listing method, we need to open braces, write the elements which are negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, and we must write these dots to represent and so on, and we need to close the braces. Letter B, x equal x such that x belongs to z and x less than or equal negative 2. Less than or equal negative 2 means that negative 2 is with us in the answer. So x equal, open braces. Here we have less than or equal negative 2. I'm going to start with negative 2. What are the integers less than negative 2? We have negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and so on. So x equals negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and so on. And don't forget to close the braces. Letter C, x equal x such that x belongs to z and x bigger than or equal negative 1 and less than 5. So negative 1 will be with us in the answer. X equal, here is negative 1. Where are the integers which are bigger than negative 1? We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop at 4 because here x is bigger than or equal negative 1 and less than 5. So x equal negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and close the braces. Letter D, x equal x such that x belongs to z and x bigger than negative 5 and smaller than 0. So x equal, here is negative 5. Where are the integers which are bigger than negative 5? Here we have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. I'm going to stop at negative 1 because x bigger than negative 5 and smaller than 0. So my answer would be negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1.